Entitlement reaches all walks of life, as you'll find out in this episode of Entitled People. Our first one is from Reasonable Cat 5767. There's a bit of backstory to this, and I'm not sure what's relevant, but I'm sure you'll tell me if I blather on too much. Mostly I just need to rant. My 38 female family is a little messed up. I essentially have had 5 parents, and 3 different groups of siblings. It's a bit much. As a child, I was living in the US with my adoptive parents, and a lot of shit went down that wasn't great, so I moved back to the UK when I was 9. I had a lot of trauma and the beginnings of a rather serious drug problem. And so my US dad set up a trust for me before he died so that anything mental health related was paid for, and I didn't have to stress about being able to sort myself out as I got older. It's been rather handy over the last 30 years, paying for a home when I was a teenager, therapy, rehab, basically anything needed to help me not die. At some point in my teenage years, I made contact with my biological parents and their other kids, and was welcomed back into the fold. Some of my full siblings had issues with this. Fair enough, it was a big change to everyone's lives. My little sister, now early 30s, apparently found it particularly hard, and so we've never got along and have been no contact for almost a decade. This has become particularly apparent in the recent weeks after she contacted the solicitors who are in control of the trust, pretending to be from a rehab facility in the US. She sent them an invoice for a 3-month stay, requesting payment to the bank account of a friend of hers in the US. The first I heard about this was a phone call from said solicitors offering their commiseration that I was due to enter the facility, wishing me luck and double-checking the details. I am livid. This is tens of thousands of pounds that she's tried to steal from me, money that she has absolutely no right to. She never met my adoptive parents. She's not owed any money from them. She's lived a perfectly normal life with both of her parents, her other siblings, holidays, uni paid for, no big dramas. And she thinks she can just take from me because she wants to buy a house and thinks I should help her out because I ruined her childhood. Except she can't even just ask. She just has to try to steal it. I have no idea what to do about this, because if I go to the police, then it'll create even more drama in the family that I could do without. And I feel like that's exactly what she wants. Our parents will side with her, and she knows it. I don't want to give her the satisfaction, but I'm just so mad that she chose this specific way to try and take what's not hers. It feels like such a low blow. Obviously, she's getting sweet FA, but what the fuck? Edit to add, because a few people have asked, my father had to bail me out of a shitty situation a couple years ago, which included getting a flight to another country to come and get me. Obviously, I insisted he accept reimbursement for his flights, despite him not needing the money, so he would have had the details of my solicitors and the fund from that time. My sister often visits my parents, so I suspect she would have seen the information in my dad's office at some point. I've certainly never mentioned the fund to any of my siblings. Update, I guess. So this got pretty overwhelming pretty quickly. I'm balancing getting things done and tied up with not losing my mind, which is always fun. Solicitors are reporting everything for me, as they are indeed required to do. Turns out I'd misunderstood and thought I had to get involved, but nope, it's all on them, and I'm going to just let what happens happens. I'll be setting up a meeting at some point to go through all of the transactions made over the last 20 years or so, just to make sure nothing else nefarious has gone on. Thanks everyone for the reassurance that I'm not doing something wrong by wanting this sorted, but I'd appreciate a little less speculation on my life and the role my parents play in it, if you could manage that. I don't understand how a family member that blames one for, quote, having their life ruined, and then doesn't even want to talk to them, has the gall and the audacity to feel entitled to the money of that person. Like, honestly, this sister is a real piece of work, and the OP's doing absolutely nothing wrong wanting it sorted. Hell, I'd want to see the sister rot in jail for thinking she could try to steal with such impunity. And our final one is by PowderFresh86. I thought I'll share another story from my time as a worker at a very popular theme park in Florida. I've mentioned in other stories that I've shared that I worked at an attraction. One day I was Fast Pass line greeter and it was in the middle of peak season. We were ridiculously crowded with wait times for standby being 2 hours, single rider around 50 minutes, and Fast Pass over an hour. We were instructed to allow people in on the time stamped on their Fast Pass to help thin the line. Sometimes, when it wasn't as busy, we would allow people to enter 5 minutes earlier than their ride reservation. A woman wearing white shorts, a fanny pack, and a white sun visor came walking up happily with her group and showed me her Fast Pass. I stopped her because it was 10 minutes early. I politely explained that she would have to wait to enter on the time stamped on the Fast Pass ticket.
"Oh, come on. Really? It's just a few minutes early."
"I apologize, ma'am. Unfortunately, we are very busy, so you'll have to wait for the time on your Fast Pass."
"That's ridiculous. Everyone else lets us in a few minutes early."
Woman tries to walk past me, but it's not happening. I block her by stepping in her way. I smile and ask her to step to the side. I continue to let people in according to the times on their passes as the woman glares angry daggers at me. A man next to her tells her to just wait. It's not that serious, but she's fuming. Literally 3 minutes go by and she storms back up and shoves the pass in my face.
"Good enough now? Can I go in now?"
Me trying to remain magical. "Ma'am, you still have 7 minutes until you can enter. Please step to the side."
"You're joking. 7 minutes? You're not seriously going to make me wait for 7 minutes?"
"Yes, please step to the side." Another 2 minutes go by as a line of people come in. I check everyone's time, not looking at faces, but so much hands and tickets, when I see the same ticket. I look up and it's the same woman again. She still has 5 minutes to wait. Now I'm irritated and she's irritated. I just stare at her for a few seconds quietly before doing a 2-finger point back to the side where her group and others were waiting patiently. She stormed back off as my coworker Kay walked up with my brake slip. The woman instantly got a grin on her face when she saw I was about to leave. Her grin pissed me off and my petty box was immediately switched to on. I gave Kay a brief of the events and instructed him to make sure she waited until the exact time printed on the freaking Fast Pass ticket. He laughed a bit and said okay. I walk away, but only a few feet, when she sauntered over arrogantly grinning to Kay and shows him the ticket. "Sorry, but you'll have to wait until the time printed on the Fast Pass, ma'am." Woman with her face turning incredibly red in anger.
"Did she tell you to do that?"
I have to work with her. He's standing petty a few feet away. You gotta love how this Karen can turn what I suspect to be one of the happiest places on earth to one of the most miserable with her attitude and entitlement. You know she knows how that Fast Pass system works, and we all know that the other places weren't letting her in early like she claimed. I'm glad in the end her entitlement wasn't rewarded. Alright, that's enough entitlement for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Entitled People. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.